When this last storm came through, I think it was Sandy, we were out for 7 or 8 days, and we were the only ones with power. When the power goes out, there's probably about a 6 or 8 second delay, and then we get a staged recovery. It takes less than a minute, but everything's on within a minute. The furnace is running, the lights are on, the TV's on, the washer, the dryer, the oven, everything. To me, this generator has paid for itself several times. If I lost power right now, these pipes could very easily freeze in probably a day or two, and that would cause significant damage. And maybe insurance would cover it once, but I really don't want to go through having my walls torn out and the pipes replaced. My family's going to be safe and secure in my house because of this generator. That gives you that feeling of security that, to me, is priceless.
Would you like the peace and security starting today? Then call the City of Dublin Natural Gas. The City of Dublin Natural Gas, the smart choice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dublin Fighting Irish Coaches Show. I'm Coach Roger Holmes, flying solo this evening. Mr. Stan was unable to make it in for the show today, so if you'll bear with me, we'll do all we can to get through this, recap last Friday's game, talk about the region and the standings where they are at this point in time, and then talking about our upcoming game this week at Northeast Macon. Number one, I want to say that, our crowd the other night, I was pleased with the turnout. I thought it was a beautiful night for football. Southwest Macon brought a tremendous football team into the Shamrock Bowl, which we knew that they would. The quarterback was as advertised. Their middle linebacker, Nick Green, last year's Player of the Year, made a lot of big plays during the course of that game. And, we were fortunate as the Irish to come out on top 22-14, maintaining our second place positioning in Region 3AA at this time. So extremely good night for us. We'll talk first, I think, about our defense, which was phenomenal all night long. Southwest Macon at the end of the night only had 82 yards rushing. They threw for 160. So a complete night there, but, we had a big interception during the course of the game. I think Jaworski Towbridge came down with that interception, picked up a fumble recovery for us on the defensive side of the ball, which was also a big, huge play. And I think maybe the play of the stand of the year to this point, and a big momentum builder for us at the end of the first half. Southwest was inside the 5-yard line right at the end of the half. Jaquez Evans made 2 phenomenal plays in a row, tackles for losses. Halftime clock ran out, and we were able to keep them out of the end zone right there at the end of the first half. Statistically for us the other night, we had some young men that had phenomenal nights on the defensive side of the ball. And I mentioned Jaquez Evans, but the other night, Jaquez had 14 tackles 3 tackles for loss. He had a sack, he had a quarterback pressure, and he caused a fumble. And that was a tremendous night out of Jaquez, who was playing defensive tackle for us, running around, making plays everywhere. Stacy Sharp led our linebackers in tackles the other night with 8 tackles and 2 quarterback pressures. And then out of the secondary, Montarian Carswell had 4 tackles, and I don't want to forget Tyler Strickland had an interception also. We felt like Steve Linton had a big night for us at defensive end. Steve Linton had 5 tackles, but he had a tackle for loss. He had 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups when we moved him back in to linebacker. So he had a tremendous night running around doing some great things for us. Anytime you're able to go out and hold Southwest to that limited number of yards and points, you've had a tremendous game. We keep a goal board for our defense. Unfortunately for us, the lowest total of points that our defense had won on the game board since we've used this thing for about 3 years was 2 weeks ago against Dodge County. We didn't have a great night. Our defense was challenged. They came back out this week and they set the season total on the goal board, so just a tremendous night from them. I think a lot of credit goes to Rusty Waters and our defensive staff for having a tremendous plan. Offensively, we ran for a total of 277 yards, which is a pretty solid night on the ground. We had 2 rushers go for over 100 yards. Jermaine Cooley, our fullback, went for over 100, and Cortavius Mitchell went for over 100, our left halfback. So we had balance in distributing the football and able to do some good things. Anytime you have 2 running backs that go for over 100 yards means your offensive line had a tremendous night. And I think a young man that's worth mentioning right now that's had a lot of success this year, done a tremendous job, and we would have expected him to, and that's our left tackle, Jaden Darso, who's a 3-year starter, and he's continued to step his play up all season and just doing a tremendous job for us. Barrick Wadley, our center, as the night went on, he continued to get better. They gave us some different looks, and Barrick was able to at halftime. We made some adjustments, settle down some things for us, and do a really good job there. So all in all, I thought a good night offensively. 22 points was a very solid performance. Jaquez Evans handled our kicking duties. We were 3 for 3 on our extra points the other night. We're starting to develop some consistency in that part of our game. Kickoff coverage was pretty good, and all night long we had one young man get out of his lane one time, and it gave him, probably 10 extra yards on a kickoff return. But we struggled a little bit in our punt game. We had a bad snap, didn't react to it really right, and then got it partially blocked on a punt block there at the end of the game, which gave Southwest a chance to get in position to tie it up, but our defense rose to the occasion and did a great job. I know you had a chance to see the game on TV 35. If you didn't, it's archived. We'd encourage you to go back and take a look at it. And at this time, we'll go ahead and take a break. I want you to watch our sponsors and tell them thank you for being a part of the Dublin Touchdown Coaches Show.
I want to thank you for sending Matt Hatchett to the Georgia General Assembly. He's an outstanding member, and I selected him to be one of my floor leaders. And he's done an outstanding job trying to get legislation through the General Assembly, and we have some good things to show for it. One of the largest tax cuts in the history of the state of Georgia, reform of our criminal justice system, and many other important initiatives that Matt has been an important part of getting that passed.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cannon, President of Citizens Bank of Lawrence County. If you're presently a customer of ours, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing us to be your bank. We appreciate the confidence you have placed in us and enjoy providing you with the most up-to-date banking products and services to satisfy your needs. If you're not a current customer, we would like to invite you to stop by and let us show you true community banking at its best. We concentrate on our local community, doing our part to make Dublin and Lawrence County a better place to live, work, play, and retire. We recently introduced 2 new products, eStatements and Access Now, our mobile banking app. Both of these products will help to make banking with us more convenient and will also help to provide you with a safer and more secure banking experience. So for all your banking needs, just give us a call or stop by and let us show you personal banking at its best. Citizens Bank of Lawrence County, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Hey, are you searching for a great used car, truck, van, or SUV? Head on over to Dublin Auto Sales, where the selection and value are sure to fit your budget. See Wayne Kemp, Bill Topping, Alan Fields, TJ DeRochi, or Freddie Cook today. Dublin Auto Sales, celebrating another great year in business. Now proud to be on both sides of North Jefferson Street with our new truck and SUV lot. You'll also find Dublin Auto Sales at 1705 Telfair Street in Dublin. Selection, value, and bank rate or in-house financing is available, so financing is never an issue. Dublin Auto Sales, if you're searching for a great used car, truck, van, or SUV, head on over to Dublin Auto Sales.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the break and paid attention to our sponsors. At usually this segment of our show, what we try to do is give you a recap of Region 3AA. That's where we obviously are competing for our fans or people that are new to kind of the high school football. What you have is there are 8 regions across the state of Georgia. Those regions have 4 teams that can qualify for the state playoffs based on how you perform in your region. That'll put you in the first round of the state playoffs with 32 teams. And it takes 5 rounds in the state playoffs to win the state championship game at single elimination. So getting in is the number one objective, because if you can get in the playoffs and you're playing your best football when the playoffs start, then hopefully you got a chance to make a run and go deep into the playoffs, and who knows what can happen. Right now, Dodge County is sitting on top of our region. Dodge County is 7-0 overall. They're 4-0 in region play. This week, Dodge County will face, I guess it's East Lawrence. So Dodge has East Lawrence this week. Number 2 in the region right now is Dublin at 3-1. Dublin this week goes on the road to Northeast Macon. Bleckley County is also 3-1 in the region. They're 6-2 overall. Bleckley right now, Dublin has the tiebreaker over Bleckley as we were able to defeat them head to head. And so at this point, we still have a hand up on them if we can continue, obviously, to take care of our business. Sitting at 1-2 in the region and playing each other this week, Southwest Macon is 1-2 and Washington County is 1-2. Both of them are there. Southwest is 3-3. Washington County is 2-5, and Washington County has to go to Southwest this week, and the loser of that game is in jeopardy of not making the playoffs. So that's a huge game for both of those football teams as they move in this week. Northeast Macon right now is 0-3 in the region. They're 3-3 overall. And East Lawrence is 0-3 in the region, and they're 0-7 at this time. So your region standings as they lay right now, again, Dodge is 1, Dublin's 2, Bleckley is 3, Southwest Washington County are tied for 4th. They play each other this week. And then Northeast and East Lawrence are at the bottom, and both of those are 0-3 at this time. You know, as we've looked around, obviously us taking care of our own business is huge. But one of the scenarios that if it falls this way and you don't know, you've got to go play the games and we've got to handle our business. But a win for Dublin this week against Northeast. Southwest is able to defeat Washington County, and Dodge is able to beat Bleckley when they play, then Dublin would have second place at that time locked up with 1 game remaining in region play. So this game for us Friday night at Northeast Macon, which is at Thompson Stadium, which is over at Northeast High School, is a huge football game for us. And we're going to take another break, and we'll come back and we'll talk Northeast Raiders and Dublin Irish football right after the break.
Score big with the Dublin Piggly Wiggly. Catch all the savings throughout the store. Score big with fresh produce, grocery items, dairy products, and don't fumble the handoff. Choose 100% certified Angus beef from Dublin Piggly Wiggly. Taste the difference today. Fresh food, friendly service, Piggly Wiggly. Allen's Heating and Air is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Air to install and service your heating and air conditioning unit. Allen services all brands. With the purchase of a new Amana unit, you'll get a lifetime warranty on the compressor. Allen's Heating and Air. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Air. Amana Heating and Air Conditioners. Last and last and last. Dr. Jackson Fordham is a proud sponsor of local high school football on TV 35. Dr. Fordham is located in his new office at 204 Fairview Park Drive. His experienced staff is ready to serve you today. So call and make an appointment at 272-4051. For all your dental needs, count on Dr. Jackson Fordham. At Farmers State Bank, we believe leadership is the ability to help others solve problems. So we come to work every day with a common goal in mind, to help you succeed. Farmers State Bank is proud to be a leader in our community, providing banking services to businesses and individuals just like yours for generations. Farmers State Bank, your personal banker, with locations on Veterans and Hillcrest in Dublin and on Birch Street in Cadwell. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Farmers State Bank, a leader in the community.
Welcome back, folks, and I've got special teams coordinator, offensive line coach Gary Morton with us here to help finish the show up tonight and talk about the Northeast Raiders. Coach, I guess first off, let's talk about Northeast Raiders defensively and the problems maybe they're going to give our offensive line and kind of a scouting report for our fans out there that'll be at the game, what they can look for out of Northeast.
All right, they run a 3-5, so there's a lot of movement by the D linemen, a lot of slanting, linebackers, a lot of blitzing. So at any given time, you could have 6 to 7 guys possibly coming at any gap. So, you know, you've got to really hone in on your rules, and then you may have to, you know, incorporate a few new blocking schemes to try to battle the blitzes. So, and that's what we're focused on this week is just making sure that we know who's responsible for who if they come, and you know, but they're not huge, but I think they're very athletic up front. I think the D line is, you know, an average size, 240, 250, but I think they can move really well. I think that poses more of a problem than somebody that's 280 that can't move. You know, I think smaller, quicker kids, to me, pose a bigger threat to us than, you know, because I think some of our kids are big. And, you know, like I said, if you have a nose and he's slanting, you know, our center is, you know, 260. You put somebody in there 210 that can move, and that's going to, you know, give us some issues. So we really got to, you know, do our best at stepping play side, getting our hat play side, doing the little things. You know, and like I said, linebackers coming. You know, our guards got to make sure that we're taking our first step correctly so that we don't allow that linebacker to come in B gap and or the linebacker to come in A gap. I think we'll be able to tell who's coming by pre-snap alignment. I do think that, but you know, like I said, we're really going to have to be focused up front this week.
Well, I know spending 10 hours on Sunday looking at Northeast Macon on film, and they impressed me with their pad level and their penetration. You know, their guys are, as you talked about, they're slanting and moving and blitzing and going to give us a lot of different looks, but in a lot of ways that plays into the hands of the wing T if you're capable of executing, like you said, with the offensive lineman, because you can down block and
Trap.
secure gaps. The guy that you're not down blocking on, if his angle's not just exactly where you need it to be when he runs across the line of scrimmage, you're able to throw a nice trap block and get some things going. You know, give me a couple. I mentioned earlier in the show, Coach, but talk to me about a couple of your linemen or our linemen all the way across the board, not just centers and guards, that you think are playing really well and doing a good job for you right now.
Well, I mean, I think Dariso's doing a great job. I think he's gotten better. He's our left tackle. I think he's really gotten better throughout the year. You know, with the performance, you know, on Friday nights, I think he's a coachable kid. He pays attention to practice, but I think he's doing really well right now and getting better. You know, with our guards, week to week, I mean, to me, it's one of the toughest positions to play because when you pull and block somebody in open field, that's a lot harder than tackling somebody in open field.
Yeah.
And people do not realize how tough that blocking somebody in open field is tougher than actually tackling somebody.
You don't get to put your arms
That's
around
right.
them if you do that.
That's right.
Unfortunately, they throw that yellow flag. So, and you know, Coach, I think we've got two really good guards.
They are, and you know, we're getting better in that area.
And folks, that's Bruce Guyton and Jalen Carter are the two starters, and Darius Blackshear, who's kind of come off an ankle injury early in the season. To me, he's kind of continued each week to get better, and he's getting more and more snaps, which is allowing those other two young men who both play defensively also to get some rest during the game.
And like I said, they've played well for us. And Jalen's only a sophomore, and then you know you factor in, you know, our sophomore center who's getting better every week. I think, you know, right now I think Jalen and
Bruce,
well, Jalen and our center,
Barrick Wadley.
Barrett Wiley. Physically, they have all the tools. Right now, with them being sophomores, you know, the mental capacity that a sophomore can handle right now is what I'm more impressed with them, because that's where I think they're getting better every week is learning what to do. You know, but they've got all the physical tools that they need. You know, and then our right tackles, you know, we've got Khalil White, and then we've got Donovan Walker out there.
And that's the position right now that we've just really got to shore up. And you know, Donovan Walker was the starter earlier in the season, and had a couple of games where we didn't think that he played to his potential.
Right.
You know, and that's not a negative, folks, that I'm saying about him. You know, we have very high expectations for our young men, and sometimes we think they're capable of doing more than maybe they think they are. And that's part of coaching, is getting that kid to play to the level where you're evaluating him to be. Khalil's another sophomore that's getting some minutes in there. And then Chris Oliver is mixing in. And we're a little concerned right now because of Donovan Walker's been under the weather a little bit this week, and we hope he's able to play on Friday night, but we're not sure yet whether he's going to be able to go. There's a virus, it seems like it's going around, and hopefully he'll be able to help us. But that's an area where we've got to continue to move forward. And then at tight ends, you're getting good play out of Stephen Linton and Jaquez Evans, and you know, those two young men are doing a good job. We're not going to talk about the backs because they get all the press anyway.
Well, I think that the two tight ends, you know, Steve and Jaquez, I think the sky's the limit for those two. As far as ability goes, they may have the most ability, you know, up front that you can expect. You know, very athletic. Both of them got great hands. You know, I think the sky's the limit for those two if they'll really, you know, focus on.
And they're defensive players, both, and, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, our kids go both ways, which I think is tremendous. I know when I was in high school, I never wanted to sit on the sideline, but I wanted, if the ball was being snapped, I wanted to be on the field. That's changed a little bit these days, and, you know, it takes a different mentality, and you got to be able to change the switch when you go from offense to defense. But that kind of takes care of that side. Now, defensively for us this week, Northeast Macon's coming in. They're going to be running wing T, First-year coach Ashley Harden, who came from Twiggs County, is their head coach, and gosh, they're playing so hard on both sides of the ball, and that's a tribute to him and his coaching staff, how hard these young men are playing. But for them, I think it all revolves right now, not that their offensive line is not doing a good job, but their skilled players are really, really good. And I don't know names. I think one
Like 24.
is Ussery. But number 3
Yeah.
and number 5 were big playmakers for them last year. 3 and 5 both alternate some at quarterback. 5 stays in the backfield the majority of the time as a running back. He's got a sophomore, 24,
I like him.
who's a really explosive running back. Those guys are doing a great job. Their passing game is not their forte. It's not what they want to do, and I guess you could say the same about us. That's not our forte. Running the football is, and that's why defensively we've got to control the fullback. You know, their halfbacks are going to get the football and they're going to do some things in space, but their wing tee is very similar to the one at East Lawrence. I think it's the keys for their success are the fullback down, off tackle to the tight inside, the belly to the weak side, and the fullback trap. We've got to establish that that's our territory in there, and they can't run there. Now, if you defend their run game, they also like to mix in their shotgun spread type offense, running a little bit quarterback zone read and throwing the football out of trips. Pass rush lanes are important because the quarterback likes to pull it down and scramble, and that's when he's the most dangerous. So offensively, for them, wing tee, spread, a little combination of what we've been seeing all the way throughout the course of the year, and hopefully we'll be where we need to be. Let's talk, Coach, since you're the special teams coordinator, let's talk a little bit about Northeast and the kicking game and things that we're going to have to do well to get through another big region game.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to definitely have to protect the punt. And when we punt, I think that was an area which we didn't do as well as we needed to do last game.
Yep.
To me, that's the most important special team is the punt. I think if you factor in, if you count up all the special teams, I think that should be the one that you use the most during the year. So I think that is the most important. I think that can change a game quicker than anything. So that's going to have to be our focus this week, is figuring out where they're going to bring pressure from and make sure that we block it and get the punt away safely. So,
and you know, Gabe's a freshman. Our punter's a freshman, and I think got a little bit rattled the other night. Probably shouldn't have, but I think confidence is huge. I don't care what position you play.
No, it is.
Gabe's got to settle in and do what he was doing earlier when he was like ice water in his veins and there was no problems for him. But got a big night Friday night in Macon, Georgia at Thompson High School at 7:30 as the Fighting Irish try to continue to move forward in Region 3 AA and looking to try to secure one of those playoff spots we talked about earlier. We hope you can make it to Thompson Stadium at Northeast High School on Friday night, 7:30. Look forward to seeing all the green and gold in the stands. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
21 years, JT Hanna has provided Dublin and Middle Georgia with quality promotional products and superior service you can count on. JT Hanna specializes in screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. We also provide customers with original artwork and logos through our talented in-house design. Our website makes designing and ordering t-shirts easy. You can design, choose from an uploaded template, or upload your own custom logo to easily create a lasting impression. Customers can also create purchase sites to make selling shirts for fundraisers or events easy and stress-free. Whether you need promotional items for your company or next event, JT Hanna can help. We take pride in delivering the highest quality products, and we take pride in serving you. Try us. I think you'll like us. Contact us today at 478-274-1267 or visit us on the web at jthanna.com.